All right, I'm here with Dr. Pete Phillips, who is director of the Kodak Research Center at St. John's College, the University of Durham. And I want to ask him a few questions about a recent article that was published entitled Pixelated Text. So what effect do you think, this is a big question, so we may just be able to touch on a few things. What effect do you think our digital technologies are having on the way we read?
Whoa. Well, I mean, I think if you kind of, how we read the Bible or how we read generally?
Maybe some of both, but primarily those things that might be most pertinent to Bible reading.
Yeah, so when digital first came out and e-readers and so on, everyone kind of turned to e-readers and the number of e-books being published kind of went through the roof. But it's quite funny now that if you talk to people about their reading habits, quite often people are using Kindle and e-readers and so on for kind of more kind of disposable texts, texts which are easily read, easily consumed, beach reading kind of thing, or holiday reading and so on. But there's a clear bias towards wanting to read serious texts in paper format still. And so, students and researchers here at the university, if you go and talk to them about how they do their research and you say, oh, well, I print things off and scribble over them. Again and again, people start saying, yeah, I do that as well. And the students do it and so on. So digital hasn't changed reading. Not yet. It may be that as digital reading becomes more and more the norm, and as children grow up reading text from the cradle on the screens, then it may be that screen reading becomes more and more normal. But screen reading is also changes the way we read, because we normally read for information purposes when we read text on a screen. So when we read a website, we're normally trying to get the information off that website and so on. So there's the F version of reading. You read the title and then the sidebar and so on. But when we read a book, we tend to read it for aesthetic purposes, or kind of a deeper meaning, the narrative, the structure, the form of what's going on. And, Naomi Barron and Jeff Seeker and so on have said, how about haptic reading as well, that we can flick through this book, that we can smell the book, that we have photographic reading, we know where it appears on the page. And so I think that difference will make a difference in our Bible reading. Ian Paul over here has recently kind of put out a post, and Miriam Swaffield as well at a big Christian conference, saying to young people, read the Bible as a book. Don't just read the Bible on the screen.
Yeah, that's really interesting. It's interesting, the ways that we read in those different mediums, and the potential impact that has on the way that we approach the Bible in those different forms. By the way, I've actually printed your article rather than only read it digitally, so I'm one of those who prints as well.